Yesterday I had a conversation with myself in my head. And part of this conversation was about, do other people have conversations with themselves in their head like this? And I was around other people when I was doing it. And there was like a conversation going on that I wasn't really part of. And I thought about where I was in relation to the conversation. And I thought about how I felt like I was there, but almost like really thinking about that story that I wrote for the last post, how like being there but not really being seen as being there. I felt like almost like being a ghost, like being in a room with a bunch of people who are all on one frequency, that are able to, they're like having a good time, talking, chatting, whatever, and then I'm over there like not connected. And also sometimes I feel like I'm kind of invisible in those kind of situations. And this has been like a common thing for me throughout my life, is feeling invisible around other people, and sometimes even going unnoticed. And sometimes I find out later that it's like that it's perceived differently than that. It's either usually perceived either as not perceived, it's just like people don't notice that I'm there, or it's perceived as me not wanting to be part of whatever is going on, which is not necessarily the case. It's just that I don't connect with a lot of people, and except for maybe this bug flying around, and it feels like well, it's interesting because in the past it was a little bit of an issue of like not feeling able to express myself, like feeling trapped inside of myself and feeling like I couldn't participate because I was afraid, or I was shy, or I was uncomfortable. And I think that stemmed from just being a little bit different and not knowing how to interact. And then over the last 2 or 3 years, as I have like just as I have gone further inward and just gotten to know myself more, and really been kinder to myself about who I am and my place in the world, and how I interact with other people, and how I am alone. And that has given me this new understanding of myself and of life, and that is that there are a lot of people that I connect with, that I resonate with, and that I can get along with, and it's just that those people are not everywhere. I'm not one of those people who will just can just go out and just connect with everyone. Some people have that skill set. I don't. I have different ones, and that's okay. But sometimes I'm still around other people who I just have trouble existing around. And it's so there's different degrees, there's like people who we really get along with, for me, and it's like, okay, it's cool, but even then, like, I'm a person who needs ample alone time, like being outside in nature, maybe be with Snoopy. But I need a lot of alone time. And, and then there's people who just get all their energy from other people. And that's cool. It's important to know that part of yourself. And so there's different levels of like connections with people, right? There's that deep connection of like, man, we really get each other and can spend time together and whatever that maximum time is for you. And then there's another level, which is like, so we're going from depth and then like going, I'm gonna set you guys somewhere here, and then like going up and, ooh, all right. So we've got this level, got the space here, so use this. We've got this level of like depth, right, at the bottom. And then that's like the most intense level for like closest friends, maybe family, maybe not. And then there's another level above that is like friends who maybe you just don't want to be around all the time, but you like them and you like they have a place in your life and you value them, but you have like limited time with them, okay? And then there's another level of like people that you can tolerate, and there's just levels, but there's like everything in between too. And there's people that you can tolerate, and you be around those people, and it's like it's more and more effort to be around those people. And then there's people who you really, really struggle to tolerate, and those people you could still be around, but it requires more and more and more effort from you. And aside from like connections and toleration, like I feel like maybe those weren't the best two to put together on the scale, because it's like connections and then just having things to talk about, like that's a different thing. So maybe there's like different levels of things in common and how well you guys can just bond and talk to each other. And then there's like a level of how well you actually like this person, and that can be tricky too, because sometimes the people that we like we still have trouble with sometimes, and that's normal. The more you get to know someone, the more you get to know what you don't like about them too. So there's that. And ultimately I think that in this conversation with myself, it was kind of about this, and about like, I guess I have this like, I don't know, just like my brain just goes into how can I entertain myself while I'm alone, and like I'm not having a conversation with other people, and so my mind just starts having a conversation with itself. And I don't know if this is a thing that other people do. Like, do you do this? Am I just like really a weirdo that this happens to me? It's not like voices in my head. I mean, it's a little bit like voices in my head, but not really. It is a little bit, but it's like just like an interior dialogue kind of thing. And it's like almost like journaling. When you're journaling, you're essentially having a conversation with yourself. And so it's kind of like that. And I guess it's just because it's like having an imaginary friend. There you go. I have an imaginary friend inside my head. And so it's like when there's this conversation going on that I feel like I can't relate to, then my mind is like, okay, well, that's okay. We have our own party going on in here. And yeah, so that happened. And then I was thinking too, I was like, man, I never feel bored either. It's like I have, all of this going on, and then I don't know why I thought about this, but I thought about how people experience like I guess I thought that a normal person in that situation might experience boredom. What am I? Might be bored. And then I thought, I don't really experience boredom. But as I say that, I'm realizing that sometimes I do. I've just developed coping mechanisms for it. This might be one of them. So it's like brain warp here. And yeah, I thought about that because I'm always like go, 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 and then like, you know, take a break, like do these things, like very good. I've gotten much better at balancing like breaks and go, and the flow and all of that. But then I was like, man, I don't get bored. Maybe I should be bored right now, but I'm somehow not bored because I'm having a conversation with myself. And I think it helps that I do have conversations with myself. Like right now, even though you're listening to this, I'm actually just talking to my camera. I'm actually just talking to myself right now, into this camera, into this lens, and just knowing that in the future, which you are now in the future as you're watching this, knowing that you will be watching this. And it's making my brain feel very weird right now. It's making time feel very odd right now in my head and in my body. And so I think that's my cue. I think that's my cue that it's time to wrap up and go, because we're starting to lose sense of reality in here now. So, do you have conversations with yourself in your head? Or do you just journal? That is also having conversation with yourself. If you're a journaler, that's essentially what you're doing. So it's not that weird. It's really not that weird. Journaling does that. Even if it is weird, that's okay. And yeah, anything else you want to share, feel free. In the comments, I read those. I try to respond to them. And there is a blog post. It is a poem that I wrote called Weird. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.